Welcome to the Baka Gaijin Show! The Baka Gaijin Show is a one-man mini-podcast done by myself, Zeke, Freek, and is also by and large a series of opinion pieces. The views expressed are indicative of no one other than myself. All rants are unscripted, so I may say stupid shit I'll regret later. Thank you for your continued understanding.
Welcome to the Baka Gaijin Show. As you may know, yesterday, Hunter x Hunter 2011 finally concluded at episode 148. It has been a long and very enjoyable and exciting 3 years to see this show animated once again, from the very beginning up until very close to where the manga is now, just like 9 chapters before where we are right now. So this is just sort of a retrospective episode, and what I think about the franchise's history and the franchise's future, and things of that nature. As I said at the beginning of the very first Baka Gaijin show, I've been a fan of the series since about 2004 or so. I watched the sub version of the 99 anime before switching over to the manga when that cut off. And in comparing the 99 anime to the 2011 anime, there's a lot of little differences and a lot of big differences. Actually, when the remake first aired, I could hardly believe that we were getting it. But at first, I was kind of, admittedly, it feels so weird to say it now, but I was kind of meh on the whole thing. Mainly because I was still in this, I was like, how old was I when that first aired? It was like, I guess I would have been like 17 when it started airing, so never mind. I was in those dark, angsty teenage years where I'm like, this isn't dark enough, it's too bright and colorful. Because, the 99 version had a much more naturally dark and edgy art style because, well, it was the late 90s and that's just how animation was done back then. All the coloring and outlines were done by hand and not by digital means, not like on freaking Wacom tablets or whatever, so it had a rougher and darker look to it in general, which at the time I really loved. But looking back, I realize how stupid that is, mainly because the brilliance of Hunter x Hunter is often in its deconstruction of shonen elements. So showing this bright and colorful and cheery world only to subvert it and show all these darker aspects and realities of living in a world like that makes a lot more sense. And then my other main complaint about the reboot at the time of the beginning is still a valid complaint, which is that in the Hunter exam arc, the first 20 episodes of the show, there's a lot of weird early censorship. Like Hisoka chopping someone's arm off, and there's rose petals coming out instead of blood, stuff like that. Killua having to put that Jonas's heart in a bag instead of crushing it in his hand. And that is still a valid complaint, and when I rewatch the series, I know that's going to bother me, but they did get a lot better at it over time, and eventually they stopped pretending to censor things altogether. Tater tots. And the one thing I think undisputably the 99 anime did better was the music. Not that the 2011 version has bad music. It has great music, but I feel like the music is A bit more generic sounding, and B, not quite as memorable. There's a lot of great tracks, but not many of them are as memorable. Whereas the 99 Hunter x Hunter anime has, I kid you not, I believe the greatest anime soundtrack of all time. Every piece is so fitting and so memorable to me. I actually imported the CDs, I have them around here somewhere, and there was a lot of variety in the music, so there wasn't anywhere near as much repetition as there is in the 2011 version. So while the 2011 version has great music, it's a bit repetitive and a bit more generic. But once I got over these issues, I really started to appreciate the 2011 anime, and I really started to love it, and for the last 3 years, it has been the highlight of my Tuesday. Well, it wasn't always on Tuesday. It used to be on Saturday, and then halfway through the Chimera Ant arc, they switched to Tuesday. Which makes me kind of feel weird when people say Tuesdays will never be the same now, because it's only been Tuesday for the last 50 episodes or so. So, yeah, it's not like it was always on Tuesday. As for the actual ending, I think they did a beautiful job really capturing the heart of that scene, and it's such a great cutting off point for this anime adaptation, because Gon finally finds his father, and they have their little chat. It sets up enough so that you know there's a continuing story, but it doesn't, like, needlessly sequel bait you. Like, I thought that at the last minute they were going to adapt that, chapter 340, that scene with the Zodiacs and Beyond Netero and whatnot, and the invitation to the Dark Continent. I thought they were going to do that, but they didn't. They weren't going to sequel bait you like that. And instead they made use of a lot of flashbacks and a lot of, full, like, orchestra versions of a lot of the music they played throughout the show, and it was very touching. It was an awesome finale. You know, I was kind of breathless when it started, and you just see the logo come up on the screen in almost complete silence, and everyone knows that's kind of when you know a long-running show's over, is when they show the logo in complete silence like that. So, more tater tots. And really, this is the best thing they could have done, is just end it right here. Like, they could have gone on in needless filler, but I think they would have realized they would have had to make a lot of filler, and they didn't want to ruin the show like that, so they just cut it off here, which was probably the best thing they could have done. And when the manga goes far enough that we can get whole arcs, I think we're going to see some either separate seasons or at least OVAs or something, just like we had last time, which is fine, you know. As long as this stuff is animated eventually, I don't particularly care how it gets there. And I've been liking the Dark Continent stuff so far. It's a little wordy and drawn out, I think, even more so than the Palace Invasion arc, but it's all worth it. It's all interesting stuff. Just wish he would get back to it. I understand he's got terrible back issues and health pain, which, you know, mangaka are under horrible working conditions. Like, people, like a lot of people know, but some people really don't understand just how horrible the conditions of being a mangaka are, because it's just a lot of work to be a weekly manga artist. Especially for Togashi, who works completely without assistance, except for his wife sometimes. His wife, Naoki... Is it Naoki? Naoki Takeuchi? Something like that. The author of Sailor Moon. So, interesting enough, her series got a reboot as well, though I've heard it's not quite as well received. More tater tots. But anyway, I hope Togashi gets well soon. It's so hard, because there's a dinner plate right next to me, and I'm really hungry, because I had to sit for 3 hours waiting for a job interview today, so I'm so hungry, but I can't eat. I have a show to record. And, you know, this has been a wonderful 3 years, you know, to see all my favorite parts reanimated. Like, the Green Island part of the reboot almost in some ways feels like a shot-for-shot remake of the OVAs, just with tighter pacing and much better animation. And that's the thing, this could possibly be, and I believe it is, the best-looking, long-running anime. Like, I don't know any anime that's gone 148 episodes and consistently is animated so beautifully as this one. It really is amazing, and I'm still shocked that the series has so much pull in Japan already. I mean, I know the manga sells by the bucket load, even when it's on hiatus. Like, this is a series that even on its hiatus at one point outsold Naruto. I mean, that's something. So, hopefully if that kind of publicity and popularity keeps up, further anime adaptations will be forthcoming when the manga is far enough. It's just, once again, we gotta play the waiting game, so... Yeah, but we're Hunter x Hunter fans, we're used to this. And to be fair, we don't have it anywhere near as bad as, like, Berserk or Hellsing fans, so... There you go. Or the poor saps that were waiting for the Evangelion manga to finish for 18 years. Though we are rapidly approaching the 18-year mark. So now I'm hoping that Viz, or whoever, probably Viz, is going to license this series, is going to dub it and release it, maybe even put it on Toonami, who even knows? So if that is destined, if that is to happen, we're probably going to hear about that pretty soon, so that's exciting. We'll be able to take this 3-year journey all over again, and that would be exciting if that happens. I really hope that Viz... I mean, it would be a very expensive project to dub a 148-episode series. But, you know, it is pretty popular over here, and I think the Crunchyroll exposure has made it even more popular. That's the thing, is that this is one of the biggest and most popular shows on Crunchyroll for the 3 years that it was on Crunchyroll. and this is possibly one of the biggest licenses that Crunchyroll has. So I wonder how much money they'll lose now that it's over. So that would be interesting to see as well. So I hope it gets a domestic release here. There's a rumor that the license is currently in a bidding war between two major R1 companies. Most people assume it's Viz and Funimation. I'd prefer Viz. If it's Funimation, I guess I can live with that, but I prefer Viz, honestly. I think a series with a cast as big as this needs the more diverse and larger pool of talent available at Bang Zoom. And I also just trust Viz releases more, so, you know, I hope it's them. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Baka Gaijin Show. I have some exciting news. Just yesterday, I became the 7th staff member at Anime Maru. Now, if you don't know what Anime Maru is, think The Onion, but for otaku. It's a pretty awesome site. You should all go check it out, Anime Maru. I'm the 7th staff. My first article just went up today. I'm very happy to be a part of this team. I'm super excited to be working with them and making hilarious anime parody articles, so please go check that out. And also make sure to check out the relaunched Otaku Midnight Podcast. We're recording an episode tonight. I think this video will be up after it, but you never know. If you're watching this and it's past September 24th, 2014, then it is not tonight for you, but you can go check it out on QB the Third's channel. We're going to be doing it live via Google Hangouts. We're going to be talking about the Aniplex live show. We're going to be discussing the fall season schedule. It's going to be pretty sweet, and I'm super excited to be podcasting in a group again. Not that I don't like doing the solo effort here, but, you know, being with other people and bouncing off of them, always a good time. So, with that, I bid you adieu. Zeke Freak out. Ciao, ciao for now.